Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Amirah Media. In today's episode, I'm so excited to host a clinical psychologist, a mental health advisor, and the director of Hidayah Timeless Solution, which is a counseling and training center. So, welcome.
Okay, thank you very much for having me on your show. I'm also excited to be here. My name is Riziki Ahmed, and like you said, I'm a clinical psychologist, so I like working with people, and I like advising on mental health issues, especially within the community.
In today's episode, we are going to discuss about a very important topic, which is self-acceptance. A lot of us human beings, we are struggling with poor self-image and insecurities. We spend a lot of time worried about ways in which we are not enough, maybe the texture of your hair, the color of your skin, and etc. So as a clinical psychologist, you understand best human mind and behavior, and how human mind and behavior affect each other. So insecurities and poor self-image, it has some effect on us. Walk us through the relationship or how it affects our behavior.
Okay, it's very important to understand that our self-concept and our self-image, usually you want to marry the two, our self-image and our self-concept, what we think about ourselves and what is the image that we have. And this starts around the age of adolescence. That's when you start noticing and striving to get an identity. That's when you start realizing, maybe I am short, or I am tall, or I am light, or my hair is not of the texture that maybe I wanted. And from there, the feedback that we are getting from the people around us starts shaping, or even the home ground or the environment that we have grown in starts shaping our perception of our own body image. So you can imagine if you're chubby and you're growing in a place where people talk about people being pretty when they are very thin. So you start feeling that you're very, very ugly. Or when people talk about people who are beautiful as having a light skin and you're dark skinned, so you start perceiving yourself as not being beautiful. So it's about the environment, the talk that is around. So it's always you learning to now create your own image and looking at yourself and having a concept of who you really are, and learning to appreciate who you are, and knowing that there are certain things we can't change. I didn't choose to be born in Africa. Neither did somebody else choose to be born in the West.
There is an event we both attended by Kijani. You are one of the speakers. The event was about balancing between the soul, the emotional body, and the physical body. There you talked about having insecurities yourself. So walk me through that time. How was it? What did you do? Yeah.
Okay, when I was growing up, I think I grew up with a lot of insecurities, especially around color. I felt I was very dark, so I didn't think I was pretty enough. I always thought nobody would want to marry me because I'm very dark. So I think what I did is, for me to be able to deal with that, I decided to be more of a bookworm. So I was always reading a book, trying to keep busy, trying to be very intelligent. I always thought if I read enough, I would be able to cater for myself, because I will get a good job and I will be able to like my intelligence more than my looks. So I worked harder in school because I felt I was not beautiful enough. So it was not very easy, because as a young person, we all want to feel pretty, especially when you're young girls. So there's that thing, you really want to fit in, you want to be pretty. But unfortunately, I think there was this mentality that prettiness is about how light you are and stuff like that. So I had actually to work on that later on and start appreciating myself, that okay, I don't have to be light skinned for me to be pretty, and I don't have to be like this for me to be okay. So I actually had now to learn and start teaching myself new beliefs about my self-image and my self-concept.
Yeah. Whatever you just said is so impressive. Like, you have these insecurities. Particularly, you were worried that you had dark skin, but instead of focusing on that insecurity, you decided to invest on somewhere else where you felt beautiful, which is in studies. So we are going to talk about later how to deal with insecurities, but for now, you talked about the environment being toxic, the environment like making you have that feeling of inadequacy, because maybe they make you feel maybe you're not light enough, your hair is supposed to be this way, beautiful girls are this way. So we as human beings spend most of our times being unhappy. We are worried that what will other people think, like the environment. So do the other people really like think about our insecurities in as much as we think about them?
They at times don't really think about our insecurities as much as we think about them. You can think about if you have a pimple on your face.
Yeah.
You feel like it is here. Everybody can see it. It's protruding, and in actual sense, it will just be a pimple that is not even visible, maybe.
Yeah.
But when I look at it, I feel like it's a big thing on my face, standing out. So at times, it's me who will actually attract attention to it when other people had actually not noted it.
Yeah.
So at times we feel insecure, and then we attract the insecurity, like we make other people notice that we are insecure. And if maybe I am short, I keep talking about I am mind vile mimi ni mfupi, you keep bringing it out to attention, yet other people maybe had not even noted it. And then we need to understand that at times we are not in control of other people's perceptions.
Yeah.
Like, what do they perceive as beautiful? If that is their perception of beauty, it doesn't necessarily have to be my perception of beauty. And their perception of beauty does not necessarily have to influence my perception of beauty. Because when you come to maybe Africa, our perception of beauty could be different from the West. And it's only now that you're starting to see even girls who are having dark skins or are not actually white winning crowns like the Miss World and stuff like that. Because before, I think there was a perception of beauty was only a person who is light skinned. So it's actually changing. And then nowadays we're even seeing like models who are curvy. But before, we used to know you have to look like a Barbie doll. You have to be very
Slim,
slender and everything. And you see, that is the images that the media portrays as beautiful. So the media plays a big role at times in creating our image of who we are and what we think. So we need to detach ourselves a lot and come back and ask ourselves, what do I want to be? Is it within my control? Let's say if I'm very short, what can I do about that? I can maybe wear heels, and that's the best maybe I can do about it. If I am very tall, can I cut my height? No. But I can wear flats and not attract, and even maybe wear clothes in a way that they don't show that I am extreme over tall, like try to make it look. So we work with what is within our control. If I have pimples that are really all over my face, can I cover them? Yes, nowadays we have something to cover, a concealer. So work with what is within your control, and whatever you can't control, then you let it be. You be relaxed about it.
Actually, you have just reminded me of my teacher. He used to tell me, never worry about two things. And I would be like, what? Something you can change and something you cannot change. If you can change something, go ahead and change it.
Yes.
And if you cannot change something, don't focus on it. Just accept this is how it is, and I'm happy about it. And he was talking about somebody who is stuck in a traffic jam in Nairobi. There is a lot of jam. So he was saying, if you're in that jam at that moment, you're so frustrated. Another way of thinking could be, I'm already here, so will I be miserable in this jam, or will I switch on some music and enjoy the jam. Yeah. As we grow up, of course, and as we go on our daily lives, we tend to compare ourselves to others, like your looks. You compare your nose to somebody else. You compare maybe your skin color to somebody else, your hair texture, your progress in life. Maybe we graduated together, but she's employed, she's married, she have kids, and I'm not employed, I don't have kids, I'm not married. And so does comparison in a way affect our self-image, like comparing ourselves to others affect our self-image?
Comparison will always affect our self-image, because if I'm looking at my friend who we graduated together, she gets a good job, she gets a husband, she goes ahead and has children, and maybe I'm not having that, I start feeling like, what is happening with me? So the thing is, all of us have our life's journeys. We have to remind ourselves that your journey is not my journey, and then there's no fixed rule that I must have been married by the time I'm 26. There's no fixed rule. There's nothing that is fixed in cast in stone. Okay, so how I begin my journey and how I end my journey all belongs to me. How somebody else begins their journey, how they end their journey belongs to them. So our journeys don't have to be the same. Some people start early, and then along the way something changes. They never get to the destination when we thought they would, and we get to the destination even before them, yet we thought we had not even started. So it's about appreciating wherever you are at, working hard at your own goals, setting your own, like it's very important to own your own goals, have your own focus. What do I want with my life? What is important for me? What is important for me might not be what is important for the other person. So we need to own our own goals, know what we want to focus on, and only compete with ourselves. Like your greatest competitor is yourself. What do I want to achieve within a certain time? So I'm competing with myself. I can compare once in a while, but not live in that comparison.
So we talked about how the environment is toxic and how it affects our self-image. In some cases, you find yourself in a situation whereby people keep on reminding you of how short you are. Like maybe you have a friend who is short, you have a friend who has maybe a scar, and you keep on reminding them. So in that situation, how can that friend of yours deal with that situation?
Okay. We live in a world where we are constantly reminded of certain things, that if I'm short, I'll see an advert where they're using only tall people. Of course, that will remind me that maybe I am short, and they're talking of them as being cool, maybe. So am I cool when I am short? Or when we hear girls being asked, whom would you like to get married to, and they say, I want to marry a tall, dark, handsome. So if I'm a short, light-skinned guy, so what do I start feeling? So it's very important that at times we shut the outside noise. At times it can be very loud, that it can make us a bit immobilized, that we're not able to move on, because that noise is so much. We are carrying it the whole time. So it's very important at times to shut outside noise and internalize our own voice and start giving yourself some positive vibes.
So by shutting down the outside voice, do you mean when somebody comes to me and remind me of the way my teeth are disarranged, do I tell them shut up?
No, you don't have to tell anybody shut up. You just tell yourself, I'm okay the way I am. I'm happy with myself. So you're shutting out their noise and internalizing your own voice. You're not allowing what they are saying to settle in you.
I understand. Like this person is telling you, maybe she told you one time you're short, so you tell yourself 5 times, I'm okay with the way I am.
And I like myself, and I'm happy with myself, and there's nothing I can do to change that. So when they keep saying it, you can actually remind them in a very nice way, I don't have a problem with that. I am okay with it.
So we talked about shutting down the outside voice.
Yes.
There's sometimes our own voices like kill us. There is a time a guy invited me for ice cream. I really liked this guy, and I kind of arrived at the place, the restaurant, before him. So the thing I did was I went straight to the washroom and looked in the mirror, and the first thing I saw was my teeth. They are disarranged, like some are out, some are in. Like my in that case, I'm the one who was.
You're the voice.
Yeah, I was the voice. So do we also need to shut down our voices sometimes? Because I also have a friend who has a scar between the upper lips and her nose, and this friend keeps on showing me her scar and telling me it's not beautiful and she hates it. And I keep on telling her, like, I tell her, I've seen so many people with scars, but I've never seen somebody with a beautiful scar. So in this case, I'm the outside voice which is telling her she's
in a
beautiful,
positive way.
and she is the inside voice that keep on reminding herself. So how do we deal with that?
So we must identify, because that can actually make us have a low self-esteem. And that's why I keep talking about my self-image and my self-concept. How do I perceive myself? Do I just keep seeing this scar? Is there more to my face than the scar? Is the scar the only feature on my face?
Yeah.
So maybe I have very lovely eyes, but I keep just dwelling on the scar. So what it is to start making this person maybe appreciate, and that's why at times you need to go for therapy.
Yeah.
Because with the therapist, you'll discuss about that scar, and then also discuss about the other features of that person's face, and then what can we do about this scar?
Yeah.
And how do you define yourself with that scar? Does that scar tell you you're a horrible person? Nobody looks at you twice. Nobody, so we start creating positive self-talk. So when we create positive self-talk, we also attract positivity. So when people see me looking confident, it's very hard for that person to come and tell me, I don't like your teeth.
Yeah.
Because they already see a confidence in me that radiates to them, that this person is very confident with themselves.
Yeah.
But when I look like my self-esteem is low, that's the time when people come and actually hammer us even further.
Your pimple.
Yes.
I don't like it. That is so true, whatever you said. When I went with the guy for ice cream, the guy I really liked, I really hated my teeth, but he kept on staring at me, and I was like, oh my God, he's looking at my disarranged teeth. And he told me, have anyone ever told you that you have the most beautiful smile? And I was like, what is he saying?
He's making fun of me.
Yeah, he's probably making fun of me. So I wanted him to explain, why do you think my smile is the most beautiful? And he started explaining, like, your teeth, the way they are arranged, it's so unique, and they're white, and they're like
the features you didn't notice.
Yeah, the features I didn't notice, and from that time I started appreciating and smiling more. Actually, when I used to smile, I used to cover my face, but from that time I stopped. So you experienced self-acceptance in a process, because you talked about your insecurities. You said you hated your dark skin. You used to sit back so that people don't see you, and I'm sure there are so many people who are unhappy with who they are, the features they have. There are some features that they notice, and they spend so much time thinking about it, and it makes them unhappy. So I want you to talk to them, tell them how to deal with these insecurities and how to finally come and accept themselves the way they are.
Okay, one is that I nowadays believe that we are a creation of Allah, and Allah creates everybody beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's you to find out that beauty. See, when somebody tells you have a lovely smile, which I think you have, you need to look at it more like, what else is within me? What do I like about myself? It's not only the skin color that makes who I am. And does having a dark skin make you ugly? Definitely not. So by the time you get to some acceptance, it takes time, I know.
Yeah.
It takes working on starting to appreciate yourself, loving you more, and also internalizing more of positive self-talk, you talking to yourself positive things, and also not consuming. I think at times we consume too much media, which feeds our beliefs of image. What is image? How should people look like? You know, so is it true that everybody needs to look like that? Definitely it is not true. So we can create our own unique looks and still be happy with ourselves. I can be dark and still be nice and beautiful. I can be light skinned and be beautiful. So it's about appreciating who we are at whatever levels, starting to accept ourselves, that we raise our self-esteem, and now create a wall around us that we don't allow people to crack in and make us feel insecure. That we make them understand that I am happy with who I am, and I love who I am, and I'm not changing, and I'm not going to bleach anytime soon. I know there's a lot of bleaching happening, which is maybe a lack of acceptance. Like, I want to look dark, so I must look very light skinned. So is it going to make me feel better? I mean, at times I really wonder. Or when the sun now beats my face, I start having those sunburns. And then you see somebody later on when they are in their 40s having really bad sunburns. So did you really help yourself at that point? Or were you just making a mistake without realizing it? So for me, I think it's people should be conscious about themselves and like who they really are.
Mashallah, I think this is the most beautiful advice anyone would give to anyone. And I'm sure the people out there who are suffering from these conditions, they are unable to accept themselves, will take something from your advice and learn. So I'm so happy about today's episode, because I'm sure there are so many people who will be impacted by it. So, and I feel like just going on and on, but because of time, you also have clients who are coming in. I'd like to just ask you one more questions and then we wind up. So what services do you offer as a psychologist? Most of the people don't know what a psychologist is, so tell them the services you're offering, and tell them how they can get you if they need your professional help.
Hidayah is a counseling and training consultancy where I'm the director. So I offer counseling services. I do assessments for mental health. I work closely with psychiatrists. Like, I can send a psychiatrist a client who has maybe a mental disorder. They also can send me clients. I do marriage therapy. I do premarital therapy. So I do many kinds of therapy apart from just doing the mental illness, also assessments and therapy, and also do trainings. So I do trainings for organizations, for individuals, for groups of people on different mental health issues, and also trying to advocate for mental health in the community and offering psychosocial support when it is needed.
And I think you are the best person to come for help, because for the Muslims, because you understand our way of thinking, you understand the Islamic perspective of things. So I think you're the best person. So where can your clients or the people who are interested on your services find you?
Okay, for me, we work actually a lot on Islamic counseling. Our counseling is very Islamic based. We try and bring in a lot of Islamic scripture and knowledge, and try and work around Islam within the therapy. I'm at Silver Pool Office Suites, which is in Jabavu Lane, Block A2, 4th floor, room 11. So thank you very much for coming here. I'm really happy to be here with you all, and I hope that we break the stigma on mental health, because there's a lot of stigma, by talking more about it.
Inshallah. Thank you so much. Jazakallahu khair for being on our show. And this is the end of our talk. Inshallah, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do support us. Subscribe to our channel, like this video, share it, and tell us your views on the comment section below. Do you have any insecurities, and how are you going to change it? Masalam.